likely some of you just joined who were a part of the company conference call just ended. I'm going to review some of that same material. There will also be new material that was not covered on that call. And you notice that it says HopRocket, we begin. And by the way, we're small enough now, just getting started, that I can call you by name. And so, Greg, thanks for being here. And Darren and Barbara and Doug and all the rest of you. I don't want to miss anything. Judy, thank you for being here tonight. My first question before I even go to the first slide is, how badly do you want to succeed? I think that the single biggest determining factor that separates those who really succeed from those who don't really break through are those who want it so badly that nothing's going to get in the way. One of my favorite songs by the rock group Queen is "I Want to Break Free." And my question to each one of you as we begin is, how badly do you want it? How bad do you want to break free? There came a time when I wanted to change so badly in my life. I wanted to break free as badly as I wanted to breathe. And that really has happened for me twice before in my life. Once when drugs and alcohol had become such a crippling burden in my life that it was ruining everything. And the day came when I wanted recovery as badly as I wanted to breathe. And until that came, I didn't recover. But once that came, then that which had previously seemed impossible became relatively simple. I remember a day much earlier in my life when I wanted financial success, when I did not want to live a life that was ruled by how much does it cost, and that's too much. And the time came when I wanted to change, to break that equation as badly as I wanted to draw the next breath. And because I wanted it that badly, that which had previously seemed next to impossible became relatively easy. And I will tell each one of you right now that if that's how badly you want it, that these pieces are going to come into place for you very, very easy. If you don't want it that badly, and then frankly, it's going to be a bit of a struggle. That's the way it is. To make any meaningful change, change is sometimes good and sometimes bad, but change is difficult. And if we want to truly break free, then I will tell you in advance that you're going to have to want it as badly as you want to draw the next breath. If that's where you are, then you are positioned right now to become an extraordinary success in the business. And if not, I'll tell you the truth, you're likely to get a little bit more of whatever you've been getting, albeit with perhaps a little bit better price on travel. So I start my conversation that way. How bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? If you want it as bad as you want to draw the next breath, it's going to be a real easy process. I want to talk just a moment about the foundations of a large business, and then talk about the hows and whys in this company, why I believe that it's more possible to put these foundations in place more quickly and with more certainty than anything I've ever seen before in the industry. The first foundation of the development of a large and successful business is a rapid flow of distributor applications. There is simply no avoiding this fact. There's no getting around it until and unless we engage in a process that results in the development of a rapid flow of distributor applications. Our success is going to be very, very modest. Our outcomes will not be too great. That's the first foundation piece. I remember so many years ago, I used to work a lot in Taiwan. And as I worked in Taiwan, I stayed always in the Grand Hyatt, and I could look across the way and see what became for a short period of time the tallest building in the world. It's called Taipei 101. And I watched for months and months and months while they dug a hole. They dug a real, real deep hole. And later the building became extraordinary and it became fascinating to look at, but all of the parts that the eye could see were above the foundation. The foundation was in that real deep hole. And what we have to do is build a proper foundation. Until and unless that foundation is in place, then we won't build a very large structure, in our case, building. And if we do build a large structure, it won't last, it won't stand the test of time. And so what we must do is set in motion a pattern of activities that creates this foundation. The first foundation is a rapid flow of distributor applications. The rapid flow of distributor applications, I'll describe to you what that is mathematically. It's not hard to figure out. A rapid flow of distributor applications is, by my definition, for every person who is receiving a check in HopRocket over the course of a 4-week period, whether it be a monthly check through the Unilevel or whether it be a check that is paid out weekly in Fast Start, whenever anyone receives a check in a 4-week period, by definition, a rapid flow of distributor applications is 2 new memberships brought to the company by that individual. Now, that is just a person over the course of a group, over an entire group. So today I'm new to the business, so my group is small. A rapid flow of distributor applications would be just that small group of people who are so far eligible and qualified to receive a check in this first 4 weeks. They must each in aggregate deliver to the company 2 applications with paid orders. That's a rapid flow of distributor applications. If at the end of March, My entry date to the business will be 2 weeks ago yesterday, so I didn't have quite the entire month of March, but if by the end of March, the total number of people who receive a check, if I can look at that number and I can compare it to the distributor application flow, if there are 2 new applications for everyone who received a check, then in month number 1, that was a rapid flow of distributor applications. Now, of course, that rapid flow of distributor applications must play its way forward month after month after month in order for it to be meaningful. And that is an outcome, that is not an activity. There are a series of activities that lead to the outcome. So a rapid flow of distributor applications is an outcome that we shoot towards. It's an outcome, it's a goal, it's a standard that we work towards. I'll talk to you a little bit about what I am doing, and I assure you all that I don't claim to be all that. I am doing what I would have you do. I'm not proposing that you do something different than I do. I'm proposing that you do what I do if you want to get the outcome that I get. And the outcome so far in these first handful of days is remarkable. It's the most successful launch of a business that I've experienced in my career in this industry. Extraordinarily positive and optimistic and confident about where we're going. Okay, so that's the first. It's a rapid flow of new member applications. The second foundation piece is to have the vast majority of people. When I say the vast majority of people, I'm talking something north of 85%. The vast majority of people who join the organization must enter at what is for them the appropriate point. Now, recognize that we all have different financial circumstances. We have different goals. Whenever I look at an organization and I see that everyone is entering the same way, then I know there was no serious thought given to what was an appropriate initial entry point. I see that there was simply a standard that was established, and that standard was probably appropriate for the recruiting member, not for the member being recruited. And so when I contemplate this appropriate initial order entry, having now been involved with HopRocket, first on the inside for a short period of time, not as a distributor, but in assisting the company in some other areas, observing it from the inside perspective, now having been a distributor for this short period of time, I have a current opinion as to what it should look like. And what it should look like, and by the way, this is opinion based after a very short period of time, and so it should change. It could change, but I believe that about 25% of all people who join HopRocket should be joining as premium elites. That's what it feels like to me right now. About 25% of all new member applications should be premium elites. About 50% of all new member applications should be elites. And about 25% of all new, I didn't draw that line very well. Let's see if I can erase that one. About 50%, about 25%, should be premium elites. About 50% should be elites, and about 25% of all new people who enter the business in any fashion should be members or customers. Now that I will tell you is a larger percentage of customers than I've ever before proposed. That because we have a totally different mechanism for acquiring customers, and we have a totally different value proposition for a customer than anything I've before seen, observed, had a chance to participate in the industry. And so once again, to have this appropriate initial entry, to have 25% of all new enrollments be premium elite, 50% be elite, and 25% be members or customers, that is an outcome. It is not an activity, but in each case, that which is measured can be improved. That which is measured. When I said at the end of this month, I would measure and see if I had a 2-to-1 distributor application flow. That would be a rapid flow of distributor applications. That which is measured can be improved. It doesn't mean that by definition it will be improved. It means that it can be improved. I will also look to see what are the percentages of premium elites versus customers. And that measuring, that which is measured can be improved. Give me a chance to modify business building behaviors to hit that sweet spot. And the next foundation piece is subscription. Now here, I will say that at least in my own fledgling organization just begun, this is not being done well at all so far. I think that there's a lot of enthusiasm around the idea that because of the 3 and free program, if we sponsor 3 people who are elites that are active, that covers the price of our subscription. The first thing you need to understand is that without having a subscription, it can't cover that cost. The subscription must be established. The 3 and free does not waive the activation requirement. Minus a subscription, then the account will go inactive. 3 and free pays the price of subscription. A subscription must be put in place. The second thought is we must remember that many who join us, by my definition, 3/4 of those who join us will join us because they want to build a business. And they will also have a goal to get 3 and free. Every time someone that we've enrolled gains their own 3 and free, they no longer count for us. And so I will say that so far, the biggest mistake in my own little organization is that a very small percentage of people are on subscription, and it should be 95% of people who are on subscription. Once again, that which is measured can be improved. And by the way, I want you all to know that I will never criticize. I welcome you. I'm grateful for you. I'm happy to be in business with you. I will never criticize, but I will comment. And I'll say when we're doing things well, and I'll say when we're not doing things well. And generally speaking, when things are not being done well, then that turns straight to leadership. It means that I've not properly articulated the message. So the three foundation pieces for the development of a large business are a rapid flow of new member applications, and I've given you a basic standard for that I've adopted right now, an appropriate initial order entry target and standard, and this thought of subscriptions, which must be about 95% for this foundation to be in place so that we can someday, one day, separate ourselves from the generation of income. Minus subscriptions, we are simply blowing up a balloon this month that will contract next month, and there's nothing there. Blowing it back up the next month with new member applications, and it contracts again. Subscription is what puts foundation behind the business building activities, and minus that, we're fooling ourselves. And I think that the very fact of the 3 and free has led to a whole lot of people making faulty decisions to not activate a subscription, and that is a mistake, plain and simple. If you don't have an active subscription, make one tonight. That is, once again, it's your business, not mine, but I am telling you what is required to succeed. I'm very, very certain about this. Now, I want to talk about one of the things that I most appreciate about this company. HopRocket understands one thing that it took me years and years and years to understand. I spent the first part of my career focusing, and when I say the first part, I'm talking about the first 15 plus years, focusing almost exclusively on what is required to develop an enormous income. I left a pretty big income as a stockbroker, and I was full-time from the first day. This has never been a secondary or part-time income for me. And I looked completely past the fact that not just in the United States, but across the world, there are so many people who are struggling week after week after week, just trying to pay the bills. In America, we live in the most affluent society of the world, so the newspaper reports say, so the economists tell us, and yet the vast majority of people that I know don't have any money. Whatever they're earning, they're spending 105% of that or 110%. If they have a credit card, it's maxed out. It's remarkable to me what percentage of people I interact with who find themselves in a situation where they're living in a nice home, they've got probably a nice degree, they're driving a nice car, and they're having to wait for a week or for 2 weeks to place their first order. Why? Because irrespective of what the economists tell us, Americans are broke. And I think that that is true across most of the markets where I work. That's been historically true for most of my career. And I've gradually watered it all down. The big picture has to be there. Certainly, if the big picture wasn't in HopRocket, I would not be here. I, in fact, think that the opportunity exists for each of us, not just for me, but I believe that for each of us, we have a chance to break free and to break through to a new level of success that transcends whatever our greatest success has been up until now in our lives. For me, that takes a great big number. If I didn't believe that was possible, I wouldn't be here. I believe it's not only possible, but I think it's highly likely. But here's why I've watered it all down to. I must focus my energy and attention on helping those newest people who are trying so hard just to get back what it costs to become an elite member or a premium elite member. And I believe that if we fail to have that be our primary focal point, that we're not going to build the kind of company and organization that we want. And so to those of you who went way out on a limb and placed that initial order, what I want you to know is that the company acknowledges and understands that what we need to do first of all is help you get back that money. And we need to help you have those very first proofs of income. I learned this a long time ago. Proof of income is the lubrication that greases the wheels of all productivity in our industry and therefore in this company. When it is inevitable, because we invite people to join us in a business, it is a natural and automatic question. How's it working for you? Just an automatic question. How's it working for you? And when you can say, well, I got involved in my first 4 weeks, and now if you've been in the business for some period of time, what I encourage you to do is let your new beginning be tonight. If you've been involved for a period of time and you've not yet had the proof of income that you want to have, if you got involved and you kind of watched what was going on, you didn't engage aggressively, let your new beginning be tonight. When somebody says, well, how's it working for you? Say, well, you know what? I got involved with the company and I booked my own travel and I saved some money or whatever the truth is for you. But I really engaged in the business when I had a moment of clarity. As a result of participating in a web session. And I came to understand that there were a few simple behaviors that I could engage myself in, which would allow me to have short-term success that would lead inevitably to long-term success. And so you get a chance to start tonight. And your way to start tonight is to carefully review the March Madness promotion. And I know that, and by the way, to my friends in Israel, thank you so much for being up at 4 a.m. I really honor that. And probably there are some here from Europe as well. I promise you that I will start doing web sessions that are more time zone appropriate for you. And so I don't expect you to get up at 4 a.m. And I'll speak with our Israeli leadership that's forming and determine the best day and the best time of day to make this more convenient for you. But thank you so much. I honor that commitment. Apparently you want it as badly as you want to breathe, and you want it more badly than you want to sleep. That's a really, really good sign. But what I urge every one of you to do is go to the March Madness promotion. And when you go to the March Madness promotion, I would like you to contemplate, look at it in two different ways. Look at it first that the company is recognizing that if they put some money in your hands and help you get back what it costs to enter, and then let me make just a little bit of profit, that they changed your marketing message. I believe that the HopRocket compensation plan makes it more possible and more likely for people to make a little bit of money in their first and their second month or their first and their second week than anything I've ever seen in the business. In all of my 25 years, it's more likely and more possible here. More likely and more possible because customer acquisition is easier, and because customer acquisition is easier, the business message is likewise easier to deliver. Therefore, a lot of things become possible that otherwise would simply not be. And so the company has then taken that opportunity to make money, and they've expanded it. This March Madness promotion is a thing of absolute beauty. And the way the March Madness promotion works, and please go to that to your back office and click on March Madness and see how little it would take for you to be in the top 10. Because now it's not just about you making money, but it's about a little bit of recognition. When you meet with a new candidate, a new prospect, and you're able to log into your back office and show your name in the bright lights, immediately you transition from one of the countless people who entered a network marketing company to one who can evidence success. Proof of income, proof of success makes the next success easier. It's just the truth. There's no way to get around that. And so the way the March Madness promotion works is you earn points in that promotion for every dollar that is spent in a new person joining you. So if a new person joins you as a customer, then $75 applies to March Madness. If a new person joins you at an elite level, then $300 gets added. If someone joins you as a premium elite, then $699. If someone does an upgrade, there are the various dollars that go along with that, and each of those apply to your total. Again, I congratulate you, Adriano. My friend Adriano in Israel joined, and in his first week, he shot right up to number 5. Now, Adriano, I know you know this, but I got to push you a little bit. You've gone from 5 to 7. As long as you're up, go to work, and I know you are. But now you see it becomes a marketing message. But here is the wonderful key, folks. When you participate, and here's how you participate, simply by enrolling 3 new elite members. When you enroll 3 new elite members, or 3 new premium elites, or 1 new elite and 2 premiums, whatever, any combination, that then qualifies you for a double payment of the Fast Start bonus and a double payment of the sponsor bonus. It means that when you enroll a new premium elite, you earn $100 in sponsor bonus and $45 in Fast Start bonus, and then a matching of each of those, so long as you've done that at least 3 times. My gosh, that means you're earning $290 every time. Once you've enrolled 3, for those 3, $290 is what you're getting paid. That is the most remarkable overpayment for a simple behavior that I've ever seen in this industry. And what it is doing is it's the company just pouring a little gas on your fire. The company is pouring gas on your fire. I also love HopRocket because of how immediately responsive they are to requests. If you look at that very same promotion, you will see that there was a prior limiter on it. That limiter said that you could double those bonuses on up to 5 enrollments, that it took 3 to qualify, and you could earn the double payout on up to 5. Well, tonight I talked to Fred, and I said, well, gosh, Fred, is there any reason we'd want to limit that? Why would we not want a person to enroll 6? Why would we not want them to enroll 7? Why would we not want them to enroll 20? Shouldn't we reward that behavior? And so effective just an hour ago before the company conference call, they agreed with that. And so I can now tell you that there is no limiter on that. Go and enroll 10 people as elites. Go and enroll 10 people as premium elites, and you'll earn a double matching bonus on each. And by the way, the question's also been posed as to what is the commission payout? When does it happen? And that, of course, leads to a different thought that I have later on in this session, and that is know the back office, know it and understand it. But Fast Start bonuses, as well as sponsor bonuses, they are paid out every week. The March Madness promotion bonus, the add-on, will be paid with the full March commissions that get paid on April 15th. And so the unilevel bonus and some of the other top of the compensation plan payouts, those get paid the 15th of every month following the close of the commission month. But the recruiting bonuses, those that accrue as a result of bringing new people into the business this week, they get paid the following Friday. So it's an ability to earn money immediately. It's an ability to immediately grease the wheels of all productivity, that proofs of income. I cannot overstate the importance, the power of it. And in my entire life in this industry, I've never seen something so lucrative and that makes it so relatively easier. Notice I said relatively easier. Nothing's easy. Relatively easier to have those first proofs of income and recover the money that it took to get started. March Madness. It's brilliant. Now, the next statement, I'm not going to have a detailed discussion of it, but there are some of you here, Adriano and Jordan, and there are others of you here who need to look very, very carefully at the climb. And I probably have missed some names, there probably are more of you, but there are some of you who have every ability to qualify for at least the first step of the climb in your first 30 days in the business. And, there is something absolutely magic about earning $5,000 in the first month or 2 months or 3 months. There are some of you on this call who can qualify for 1 or 2 climbs in your first 90 days. And if you do that, maybe beyond, if you do that, this business just got so very, very easy. Proof of income. That's what greases the wheels of all productivity in our business. Here are some observations. I hinted at one of them a moment ago. I talked to quite a few people on a daily basis, and it's evident in speaking with them. Mark Berg, congratulations. I hit it in 30 days. Fantastic. A few observations. I talked to quite a few people where it becomes evident to me in the first minutes of the conversation that they've not taken the time to familiarize themselves with the back office. Once again, as I compare HopRocket against everything I've done in the business, the back office is very easy to understand. It's very intuitive, and all it takes is a little bit of effort. It doesn't take much more than that, a little bit of effort, and one can understand completely all the various back office functions. And when I get these questions about, well, when is Fast Start paid? When is this paid? It is evident to me that a person has not yet taken the amount of time to simply do a little back office investigation. And so I invite you all to do a little back office investigation. Frequently, I'm being asked questions. How do I send trial links? A little bit of back office investigation. It can't be done wrong. Go to your back office. It's very obvious. Commission payments. It's very obvious. It can't be misunderstood. Here's another question that I have for you. And once again, I will never, ever criticize. I will only comment, and I'll hopefully make statements that provoke questions of you. Are you getting ready, or are you getting ready to get ready? I spoke to a person today who was talking about all the various things that he was going to do in preparation. Now, there is some legitimate preparation. Jordan, for example, does a whole lot of things with online marketing. There is some legitimate preparation time for that. I understand that. In my own case, I came to understand that when people are looking to leadership, we need to succeed right away. We need to succeed right away. I thought it was really, really important for me to succeed immediately. And that's why when you go to that March Madness promotion, you'll see that Samantha and I are at the top of that leaderboard. If we're going to present ourselves as leaders to others, then it's important that we balance our need to get ready and to make everything perfect with our need to provide some short-term proofs. And so we did everything that we needed to do to get ready to engage and to engage with energy. We did that in about 24 hours. There are other things that we're still doing to engage, to prepare, but we didn't wait for a major blizzard of activity until everything was just right. We quickly scoured our website and made it HopRocket friendly and appropriate. We quickly scoured my Facebook and social media pages. And there are some things we're doing, making preparations for what will happen 2 months and 3 months from now, but we engaged with energy. And as a result of that, have the kind of numbers and success already to cause others to say, okay, Randy's doing something. He's going somewhere and I want to go where he's going. And then I'll tell you all the clock is ticking. Our circle of influence, I promise you, they watch us and they want to know how it's working for us. Now, I don't want that to ever be discouraging, but the truth is the truth, and it's good enough. If we allow ourselves to sit by and watch and observe, the days, the weeks, the months go by, and it is such a short period of time before our candidate says, well, how long have you been involved and how's it working for you? I don't want to apply any pressure to anyone, but I do want to tell you the truth. It is important that we have some short-term productivity. Short-term productivity leads to long-term productivity. My own career truth has not been that I've seen people struggle and do next to nothing and periodically participate and then suddenly become successful. The truth is that I've seen people arrive at a point in their lives where they want success so badly, as bad as they want to draw the next breath, that they become willing to do something every day. And when they become willing to do something every day, then in fact the skill to do comes from the doing, and then they start to get the runs on the board, then the proof of income is there, and then their circle of influence wants to go where they're going. That's the truth of the way that our business works. Here is our process. I do not want anyone to, or at least I don't believe it's necessary for anyone to allow this to become complicated or confusing. The way that we are doing the business is we illustrate candidate travel savings. Now that might be done if the person is local. And by the way, I believe in I believe in using modern technology in the development of our business. I believe in building a business around the world. I've done that for a long time, but I will never go past the point where I think it's important for us to build a local business. We do business presentations in our home every week. We did one last Tuesday. We'll do one tomorrow night. I believe that one of the keys to being an effective regional leader is to be a local leader. One of the keys to being an effective national leader is to be an effective local leader. One of the keys to being an effective multinational or global leader is to be an effective local leader. And so to the extent that we can, we meet with people face to face. Now, of course, there are large numbers. We're obviously going to interact with far more people via technology around the world in places where we're not. We're going to interact with a tiny percentage where we are. But I believe that if we fail to interact with those where we are face to face, that we will never accomplish the great big things that we want to accomplish. We're limiting ourselves because we want others to build a local market. And if we don't do what we propose to others to do, the laws of the universe will conspire against us. Looking at that more positively, if we do that which we propose others do, then the laws of the universe will conspire in our favor and we'll have great success predicated on the widespread successes of other people. So we illustrate candidate travel savings. That may be by sending a travel link if they're distant, or it means by sitting face to face with someone and saying simply, what travel do you have planned for the next 90 days? Let's find out by comparing the other major search engines if we can save you some money. That simple thing opens the door. That opens the door. Our business presentation last Tuesday night was 20 minutes long. And then we left the presentation mode and the presentation room even and sat around and chatted because the business presentation is very short. Where are you going to travel the next 90 days? Let me see if we can save you some money. And that just proves the validity of the business. And every single time we do that search, we get the results we want to have. Now, to my friends in markets out of the United States, to Israel and others, of course, it's true that today the offerings are fewer in those markets, but with my introduction to the business came your entry to the business, and now the wheels of progress are turning more quickly than probably you can imagine to completely localize the opportunity to your markets, and you'll see it happen quickly. This company is nimble, this company is sharp, this company is quick, good at what it does. We illustrate candidate savings. Now that might mean that I'm sending a link around to somebody around the world, but I'm asking the same thing. Where are you traveling the next 90 days? Let me illustrate to you the ability to save money on what you're already going to do. That then proves the business message just like that. It leads to an almost automatic decision to become a member. And then the question is, what happens next? If we've illustrated the validity of the business by where you're going to travel next, and by the way, this has played its way out over and over and over again in this short, not quite 2 weeks we've been involved. What happens next? Then why HopRocket? Why now? Why you? Now that is a recorded web session that can be found at randyschroder.com/blog. I will tell you, however, that before I recorded a web session and let the tool talk, I thought to myself of this idea. Adriano, you've worked in Brazil and you've learned to speak Portuguese absolutely fluently. Well, somewhere along the way, you became good enough at speaking Portuguese that today I'd be willing to bet that you can think in Portuguese or you can speak in Hebrew. One who's just learning a language will first learn to speak the words in that language, but still think in their native tongue. What I did first was I presented the business, not with a tool, but with my mouth, over and over and over and over again, over and over and over and over again, such that after only a very short period of days, I was able to think HopRocket. Until you can think HopRocket, the responses will not be automatic, they will not be intuitive, and I believe that you will never learn to think HopRocket if you're letting a tool do all the talking. And so what I've taught forever is to let a tool talk. I now tell you that you must also do a measure of talking at the outset, because until you have said it enough that you can think HopRocket, your responses are not going to be what you want them to be. So now I've said it enough times that I want the tool to talk so that I only have to answer questions provoked by the tool. So behind illustrating candidate savings, we simply invite someone to review the link of why HopRocket, why now, why you. That's a discussion of what the business is. It is no discussion of how to do it. So the next link is the new member orientation link. Those two sessions are both stored at randyschroder.com/blog. Now a person has seen an illustration of what their own personal travel savings can be. They've seen what the business is via why HopRocket, why now, why you. And they've not only seen what the business is, but how to do it. And now we come to decision height. That's the way that it goes. It's very evident to me already what the most obvious mistake is, and it's inactivity. Simply that. It is inactivity. The most obvious mistake is inactivity. Already in just this short, less than 2 weeks of my involvement, there are quite a few people who have enrolled in HopRocket but have not taken the first step of business building productivity. The most obvious mistake is inactivity. Once again, no criticism ever on my part, only appreciation, respect, and admiration for you. But inactivity will not lead to results. Activity does. And so what is the most common reason for inactivity? Most common reasons for inactivity are, number one, a lack of belief, which leads to the wall of fear. In HopRocket, the wall of fear, I think, is taken down. Well, for me at least, the wall of fear was taken down as soon as Samantha and I began traveling with it and found out that we could save money. I mean, it went away. The wall of fear started to come down as soon as we started using the search engine. The wall of fear continued to come down as we met and interacted with management, came to know them and trust them. That's maybe an advantage that I have, I admit it, because most of you have not met and interacted with and seen how immediately responsive they are to issues as they arise and how intuitive they are to doing that which is right. It's really good. The wall of fear is the most common reason for inactivity. In my view, HopRocket takes it down. I mean, for me, it took it down immediately. Wow, this is good. This is cool. It's better than anything I've ever seen. If it doesn't take it down for you immediately, then I'm going to suggest two simple things. This CZ, that does not stand for cubic zirconia, that stands for the comfort zone. And I would ask you a question. Have any of you here ever been advised to get out of your comfort zone? If you have, type in yes. Have you ever been told to get out of your comfort zone? And I could take another step. I could ask you, have you ever told someone to get out of their comfort zone? I would suggest to you that that's useless information. It's useless information. And here's why. Because if you're out of your comfort zone, then by definition, you're uncomfortable. And if you're uncomfortable, people who are around you can sense that lack of comfort is not attractive, and they don't want to go the direction you're going. And so here's the way that I view it. Here I am, or here you are, and I've illustrated this box, and this box is my comfort zone. What I've discovered is that my comfort zone has borders around it. If I'm over here at the very edge of my comfort zone, that is not as comfortable as the center of my comfort zone. If I'm at the top or the bottom or the side of my comfort zone, while still in it, it's not as comfortable. Well, I was told once that what I should do when I first got involved in the business is I should come over here and I should contact the best and the brightest and the strongest, the most important prospect that I had and do that first. Well, at that point in time, I had no success whatsoever. I knew almost nothing. He was very successful and secure in his field of endeavor, and I was unsuccessful as yet and insecure in my field of endeavor. I got out of my comfort zone, and what he did was squish me like a bug. And so I then retreated to my now smaller comfort zone. Said, wow, that didn't feel good. I'll never do that again. And so I learned a lesson from that. I learned that I can instead act on the border of my comfort zone. Each of you have a group of people in your lives who love you, who care about you. Talk to them first. Talk to them first. Now, some of you, Adriano, Jordan, those of you who've had long-term success in the industry, you needn't do this. Your comfort zones are already immense because you've had success. Until a person has had success in this business, in this industry, the comfort zones are almost by definition very, very small. What I encourage you to do is operate on the inside edge of that comfort zone. Talk to people who know you and love you first, who would do anything for your success. And when you see their positive responses, what that will do is grow your comfort zone a little bit. Enroll some people who love you. See some people have some success and some profitability. That'll grow your comfort zone again. Every time we act in the business in some fashion, that grows our comfort zone. What I found is that I never leave my comfort zone. I have learned how to grow my comfort zone and the activity required for success. And we could have an entire lengthy discussion on this, and that's not the purpose of tonight's discussion. But I will tell you this simple thought. Don't get out of your comfort zone. If you're out of your comfort zone, you'll be uncomfortable, and it won't feel comfortable to those people you're talking. Instead, learn, grow, develop, and become. Grow your comfort zone into the activity required for success. I never operate outside of my comfort zone. I instead grow my comfort zone into the activity, the behavior that I need to grow it into so I can do it with a sense of peace and ease and comfort that causes others to want to be where I am. If I am uncomfortable, other people can tell, and it doesn't work very well. So I believe this simple process I've described to you can help you have your first measures of success. Do the business the way that I'm describing it to you. I believe that you'll have only positive responses. And if you have positive responses, every positive response grows your comfort zone. Grow it, grow it, grow it, grow it. Grow your comfort zone into the activity required for success. And then now, as I concluded my discussion most recently on the corporate conference call, know this, that whether or not you believe that you can do this, I know that you can. I know that you can. I've had so many interactions with people just like you, whoever you are, who have made it. And so, because that's been my life experience, I know that you can. I also know why you can. You can because a kind and loving God has granted you, given you because of grace, every single talent required to succeed in magnificent fashion. Notice I didn't say He's given you talent enough to struggle and flounder and flail and kick against the bricks. No, a kind and loving God has given you talent sufficient to succeed in magnificent fashion. Our talents are unique. They're unique to each of us, as unique as we are, but they are sufficient. That's the good news. The more challenging news is this: talent left unrefined accomplishes nothing. It is when we work and work and work and work and work to refine those talents into skills that become beneficial to other people. That's when suddenly this gets easy, not hard. That's the truth. You can succeed. I'm not willing to say it will be easy because anything we do for the first time is by its definition hard. I will say that because of what HopRocket is, it will be easier if you're willing to follow the simple guidance that I give you, because I've already made every mistake. I wish that I could tell you that I'd done things right the first time sometime in my life. That doesn't seem to be true. I seem to do it wrong first, and when the pain is great enough, then I gradually do it right. I've already made all the mistakes. Therefore, you need not make them if you're willing to follow the path that's laid out before you. I believe you can become more successful more quickly, and that the process itself will cause you to develop not just new skills, but new skills and character attributes that ultimately make this an absolute joy to be a part of. So, my message tonight is a simple one. Let's have fun. Let's have fun. The process that I've described to you is a simple process, and it is a process that you can involve yourself in. Let's have fun. Let's have fun and do so with a proper sense of urgency. A proper sense of urgency, recognizing that, first of all, the clock is ticking on at least one thing that is tangible and quantifiable, and that is the March Madness promotion. Let's have fun, but let's have fun with a sense of urgency, that a little bit of proof of income, being able to tell the person you're about to enroll in the business that you've earned back what it took you to get started and you made a profit. Being able to open up the back office and show someone that you're in the top 10. You know what? It would take so little, not so very much. You go out and enroll 5 or 6 people, you're going to make some money, and you're then going to have a marketing device because you can log on with your prospect and say, look what I did, not with the shining the light on me, look what I did, but because I did this and I'm like you, look what you can do too. And I think that we can add so much value to people's lives, and along the way we can have so much fun ourselves. So that's what it's all about for me. This session is over. I hope that to some degree it was beneficial for you. I look forward so much to our association, and I believe all the way to the center of my being that you can do this. So let's see you guys.